If yesterday was disappointing and frustrating, then today was volatile. It's like adding a little bit of salt on a fresh cut. So, index closed at 17,355. Open week, weighing down to the overseas markets. Went all the way down to 17,230. Bounced back. Yesterday went up and slipped. Today went down and jumped back. Good evening, traders. 14th of December, that's where we are tonight. 6 minutes past 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And we are looking at a spinning top kind of a candlestick behavior on the daily chart of Nifty Futures. On the daily time frame, the underlying trend is still down, and the index is trying to consolidate the recent sharp bounce back that it noticed last week. A look at the 75-minute time frame would give us a little bit of more micro level view on the price movement. So one thing that I would like to bring your notice to is this blue line that you can see is the anchored VWAP, and this is from last Monday's low, the sharp sell-off that we noticed last Monday. And this VWAP essentially did act as support yesterday, and it also did act as resistance today. This is nice, good behavior of classical technical analysis, lows acting as highs. And so going forward for tomorrow and the rest of the week, today's high is bare minimum for the index to take out in case it needs to show some strength and try and go further up, which is 17,424. So 17,400, 450 is the level that is very crucial from a short-term perspective for any kind of surprise on the upside. As long as 17,400, 450 is not taken out on the upside, we can expect that the market can continue to slip down. Today was volatile. Definitely it is very, very clear from this. This was the first bar, followed by the next 4 75-minute time frame bars was clear signs of highs not able to sustain and the index bouncing back from its lows also. So not much, I would say, confidence that that comes in after today's close, but the trend stays down and it's a mildly negative. So any kind of downsides from here on should not be a surprise. Today's low was 17,230. So there you go. A break of today's low would definitely infuse fresh selling towards that 17K mark. There's not much of a rocket science in that. On the upside, as I mentioned, 17,400, 450 is the bare minimum. The volume profile is clearly suggesting 17,500, where the majority of the volumes had happened, which coincides well with the previous high. So it's got some resistances up there. Trend stays down, momentum also stays down, so there's no much strong evidence to go bullish right now. In fact, the indications are more on the downside. Bank Nifty also fared. The volatility was very, very evident from the daily time frame as well. Similar kind of a spinning top kind of a candlestick on the daily time frame. 75-minute time frame clearly reflects the fact that after it opened down, it did give us a decent bounce back. Now the close and the behavior of Bank Nifty was relatively better in comparison to the Nifty. We will get the reason why probably from once we take a look at the top 17 stocks. But if you allow me to drop an anchored VWAP like I did on the Nifty chart, it also kind of behaves the same way. It also did act as a support in yesterday's sell-off, and it also kind of acted a bit of resistance, at least on a closing basis on the 75-minute time frame. So the levels to watch for the Bank Nifty is also very similar to that of Nifty. That is today's high and today's low. Today's high for the Bank Nifty is 37,200. It's a nice round number above which we can expect any form of strength coming back to the index. And the low was 36,648, so 36,650, 36,600, below which you can expect further weakness. Again, same thing. The overall trend is down and weak, so any kind of slippage, any kind of downfall is not going to be a surprise element for you. Take a look at the top stocks, and ITC is the biggest gainer amongst the top 17 stocks, followed by Kotak, Bharti Airtel, Tata Motors, Reliance. Down again. This is the weekly chart, I'm sorry. This is the daily chart. It's down 1.32% now. That's not a good sign from a stock like Reliance. This is not also a good sign from a stock like HDFC. So majority of these top stocks actually slipped down. We've got some bit of strength coming in from ICICI Bank, which is a pretty good welcome, but the trend is trying to reverse on the upside. There's not much of a setup there on the chart of ICICI Bank. Amongst the IT stocks, TCS and Infosys is doing better, out of which TCS seems like has decided to create some kind of a consolidation, and in terms of patterns, you would be able to recognize a ascending triangular pattern on the chart of TCS. So the stock seems to be creating a setup for itself where it needs a breakout. So we can see that the index got some support from few stocks, which helped the bounce back. But then we have stocks like Reliance and HDFC Bank, which continues to weaken. Let's maintain the cautious view, mildly negative, and just observe how prices fare in this kind of volatile market. It becomes really difficult. I would suggest that if the index gaps down or gaps up, or any kind of fancy move or dramatic move happens at the beginning of any day's trade, try not to get carried away by that. Try not to trade because it has opened bullish. Try not to trade on the short side just because if it has opened weak. Just let the price play out a little bit and try and trade a little bit more intelligently. And maybe lesser trades is not a bad idea, because these are not the best of times, because the volatility and sentiment driven market can actually chop you out. Let's go to the Iris Plus and quickly scan the Nifty 200 and check if there are any stocks that we can focus upon. Lalpath Lab comes as the only sole stock which has created an inside bar. It looks like a belt hold as well on the daily time frame of Lalpath. Trend is down, not much encouraging if you honestly ask me, apart from the fact that it has come close to its previous supports. 3300, 3400 is a pretty wide range. Not the best of pick for an intraday trade tomorrow above today's high. Amongst the bullish bearish Rami pattern, Bosch, no, there's no downtrend to call it a bullish Rami. We're looking at Cadila Health, no, same logic. Hindustan Unilever has created a bullish Rami pattern, and one may look at it, but the point is, if you can see after it, the disappointing sell-off, which was primarily on the 19th, 20th, 21st of October. After that, the stock actually kind of drags itself on the downside. Any kind of bounce back just lacks life. So let's see if we can get any better bullish Rami pattern than this to trade. Tata Elxsi is not the one. Sona Comms. The size of the bullish candle and the size of the bearish candle is almost the same. In fact, the range of the bearish candle, which is like the baby candle, is longer than that of the mother candle. So again, not the best quality of Rami pattern. This is not bad. Sanofi has got a decent body candlestick within yesterday's range. It has a doji before that. Almost like a hammer kind of a pattern. So yes, can be a short-term intraday kind of a pick above today's high, but these are short-term movements only. Others, as I click through, none of them seems like to be any strong bullish or bearish Rami pattern. We have ICICI GI towards the end. Looks like a nice bodied candle inside yesterday's body, but again, the range is a little bit too long. So I would say Sanofi is the one which stands out the best. And delivery percentage, 1 lakh shares at least delivered, with a 70% minimum percentage of delivery amongst the Nifty 200 universe stocks. If we process this, we get 3 names today. of which we have ICICI, which is the chart right in front of us. So it's created somewhat a bullish army pattern, and the weekly charts have started to bounce back from its intra-week lows, and 70% today, 77% yesterday, 69% day before yesterday, that was I think Friday, and before that last week was primarily 50, 51, 56, 68. So decent delivery percentages coming in at this zone for ICICI. Then we have Infosys and SBI Card. Now SBI Card is selling off quite sharp. Weekly charts are also beaten down, completely contrarian bet, but ICICI seems like a much better one. Breakout, low volumes and low daily range, especially close to a resistance or some kind of a breakout point, which can lead to a sharp move on the upside. Dalmia Bharat, maybe 1950, but not that convincing. And Nalco is showing some pretty decent strength. Voltas, Torrent Power, Procter & Gamble is complete range. None of these stocks actually looks like a good breakout on the upside. The market's conditions are such, so once the market conditions improve, I'm definite that the breakouts will stand out much better. Oracle long, Hindustan Unilever, that's not bad. That's not a bad sign coming in both that scan. So Hindustan Unilever can be a sign of bullishness that we can see tomorrow. Adani Trans is it's not the best of oracles, but yes, I like the fact that today's high 1885, yesterday's high 1887, very close to each other. So there can be a move above today's high. Adani Foods doesn't stand out that well. Amongst the short, we have Polycab. Not bad. You can see two lows are almost same to each other. So possible. Oracle is a completely intraday short-term setup. LTI also looks good. Siemens had a great run. It's slowing down now. We have Godrej Industries also, which looks like a pretty good Oracle short below today's low. So amongst the Oracle shorts, I would say Godrej stands out. Polycab also is one, and LTI. Siemens though has had a great run. It's very strong, so wouldn't like to short such a strong counter, and LTI is another one. So we do get some amount of trading possibility, which is a good sign. The market's kind of giving opportunities on both the sides, but it's not sustaining, be it on the index or on the stocks. And so I'll reiterate that keep your trades short term or very, very long term. Try not to do swing trades with a holding period of 5 to 6 or 10 days unless you are good at it and you know that what you're doing. But yes, not the best of times. The possibility of getting whipsawed in those kind of trades is very high in this market condition. So stay low and hit only when your conviction and confidence is the max. Try not to do compulsive trades. Let's see what and how the market plays out as we finish tonight's video. I'm looking at a Dow Jones which is marginally positive, 30 points positive. S&P 500 had gapped down and it's now trying to bounce back. 18 points negative, 18 points positive for the SGX. Not much of takeaway, honestly, if you ask me, from the global markets. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see whether the index offers us tomorrow and the rest of the week any strong directional movement or not. All right, till then, take care of yourselves, trade well, trade wise.